Are you watching the game, the Texans game? What's going on
Yeah.
with that game?
Yeah, I'm watching I'm watching the battle for Texas. It's actually been kind of a good game, which is a little bit of a surprise
Really?
when you consider that Dak has died. Stroud has looked bad again, which is kind of concerning. But other than that, the Texans
Bad?
are much better than the Cowboys. Yeah, he just keeps missing throws, like even when he's not necessarily under a lot of pressure. I think he's just kind of got the yips at this stage in the season, which sucks.
The yips.
Just for, yeah, I mean, I'm not really worried about him long term at all, but Houston will definitely need him to figure it out before the playoffs if they want to be taken seriously.
Interesting.
They got Nico back, so that's nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I was going to say next. I thought the offense would be a lot better with Nico in. It looks like he's got a few catches now. Check the stats. What is it, 17-10 halftime?
Yeah, well, they haven't really needed Nico or like the passing game really at all because Mixon can just get whatever he wants against the
Oh, I
porous.
saw that. He had a 45-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
In the
that was
first
like
game.
the opening drive. So when Houston does get into third and long, it hasn't really gone well. But outside of that, they just run the ball down the Cowboys' throats, and the Cowboys
So
just
is
like
it
screen out. Yeah.
is it Stroud just getting pressured a lot?
No, that's what I mean. Is he has gotten pressured some, and I think the Cowboys have like 2 or 3 sacks, so that's something. But he's also just missed some wide open throws, like with plenty of time. So
I
maybe,
see. I see what you mean by the yips then.
yeah, I don't know what's up with him. I kind of think he has an injury that the Texans haven't disclosed.
Really?
Yeah, but hopefully not. Hopefully that's just me being a conspiracy theorist.
Last week there was this Instagram reel. I saw somebody overanalyzed a play where it looked like Stroud had just learned that he's athletic and decided to start running the ball because he's pretty fast.
He
He's
is.
a pretty athletic quarterback, right?
Yeah.
But this reel basically analyzed the play where Stroud scrambles from the pocket and he usually throws it downfield. Like he hardly ever takes off and starts running. Well, on this particular play, he he does this weird behavior where he approaches the line of scrimmage. Before he tucks the ball, he points to the sky and like raises his helmet a little bit as if like he had a little eureka moment, like a light bulb went off on top of his head. Like you ever do that whenever you discover something like, oh, I figured it out.
Yeah.
You point your finger to the sky
Absolutely.
like that.
Absolutely. The whole.
Well, he does that on that play and then scrambles for like a 15-yard gain. And then from that point on in that game, who did they play last week? They lost.
They played. I know they lost to the Jets, but that was a couple weeks back.
Yeah, that was Thursday night.
Yeah.
Halloween. No, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't
He had a good amount of scramble yards that game, and he might have figured out that he should be running the ball. Now, I don't know if he's doing that in this game, but anyways, this is a good pod to have during the Monday night game of your dumb team playing.
Yeah.
And Cooper Rush playing, and it looks like they're going to give the Texans a little bit of run for their money.
Well, now that we've got QB1 out there, maybe we can finally make a playoff push. They played the Colts last week, the Texans did, and they just barely. Oh, wait, no, I'm lying. They played the Lions, of course, on Sunday night.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And they were up big, and then they lost. Yeah, I don't know what it is about Stroud. I think it's fine that he doesn't run much, but you're right. He's like plenty athletic enough that he should be taking those 7-yarders or 10-yarders when they're there. He's never done that, though.
No, he's never done that. He might be just like looking for something to be confident in because you're right. Like he doesn't appear to be nearly as confident as he was last year, and it's got to be the yips because of the line playing
Yeah.
so badly over the first part of the season.
That's what I think it is.
It's got to be. He's lucky. Oh my! Imagine where they'd be if they didn't have Joe Mixon. He was injured for a while, and that really contributed to their offensive problems. But man, he's been so good.
Imagine if they had Mixon last year.
Holy shit! Yeah, they had a Singletary. He wasn't terrible.
He was okay, but no, Mixon is so much better. I've found a new love for Mixon for Mixon this year than I've ever really had for him. I always kind of thought he was like actually not that good, and a lot of people actually, I mean, so-called experts, a lot of people seem to agree, but no, this year he looks amazing, and
yeah, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, on an offense that needs him, it's pretty obvious.
Mixon's one of those runners that is a violent runner. He goes and he seeks out contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's really fun to watch. And he's super confident too. And didn't he mock somebody on his first touchdown, the 45-yard scamper?
He may have.
Like he kind of turned around and celebrated before he scored or something like that.
Yeah, he like pointed at the defender or something maybe, which is fine.
The dude's got moxie, and I think it's worth arguing or bringing up that he probably brought that moxie to the Texans. Now, granted, they're not playing as well as they have, but he's the perfect player to join the Texans, that vet presence.
Oh, yeah. He's been in the playoffs, knows what it takes, all the good cliches you want to use, but also, like, you mentioned that he has that moxie and that confidence, and he's like one of those running backs that just gets better as the game goes on, it feels like, and part of that is the physicality. Yeah. But part of it is rare. Also, like, it is rare, and it's like nice to have. If you're up, you're just going to grind the opponent down and win the game with your running back. So hopefully he completes their offense that like they didn't have last year in their playoff run.
Man, I feel like they're only going to get better, especially because they're playing one of the worst defenses in the NFL tonight. No, this is the platform to jump off and start this momentum swing for the Texans because they finally got Nico back. They're not like riddled with injuries. Like they should be really turning up the heat and starting their playoff run. Like it should be starting now. Obviously they need their offensive line to improve, but it needs to, in my opinion, if I was the coach of that team, if I was D'Amico Ryans, I'd be stressing that. I'd say this is the time to really start taking every game like it's a playoff game, take it very seriously, because the momentum probably begins right now.
Yeah, they were like a lot of sharp bettors, kind of dark horse pick to win the conference, the AFC.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean in the preseason. And then the first few weeks they were like living up to that billing. And then they kind of fell off at the same time that Nico got injured. Not to say that he was like the sole reason for that. Their O-line is definitely reason number one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still think they should be contending. Like assuming they can figure out some of these protections that have just been terrible for them. And it's assuming Stroud can like get his confidence back.
Yeah, they really need that to happen ASAP.
Their defense should keep them in most games, I think.
Hey, speaking of defense, so what other injuries are the Cowboys dealing with? Like, why is their defense so bad? Because they just got Parsons back.
So there's a lot, and there's definitely some that I couldn't even tell you. But I'll start off with Deron Bland, who's still not back.
Yeah, Deron Bland.
Yeah. He got injured in the preseason. Let me just verify that just in case he's actually out there and I'm like the worst fan, which is definitely possible, but I'm pretty sure he's not. No, he's out. I don't think he's played a single down this season. And when he got hurt in the preseason, they said it would be like I don't know what it was, 5 or 6 weeks, and now we're here, week 11. He's a ghost. We also lost a second or third year defensive end. I think it was a second year, Sam Williams, who looked like really good last year in limited snaps,
Mhm.
and he was expected to like take on a bigger role and fill in, the edge, give us some more depth there, and maybe even push for starter reps over like Lawrence or something. I think he got hurt in the preseason as well for the year. So that's just,
Damn.
yeah, that's tough. I don't know if DeMarcus Lawrence is back. I'm pretty sure he's also not back. Let's do another Google. But you
Well,
get the point, I think.
yeah, and especially, I mean, for a defensive line that is supposed to hang their hat on Micah Parsons, when you don't have that rotation of linemen to kind of step in whenever Parsons needs a break from
Yep.
all the double and triple teams he's probably getting every play. That I now understand without Sam Williams or DeMarcus Lawrence, it's very difficult for that defensive line to succeed when it's just Parsons and you lose that rotation of defensive linemen. That's a big deal. That makes sense now.
It's been rough. But it is what it is. I mean, I don't think it's an excuse. We also drafted in 2023, we drafted a defensive tackle in the first round, Mozzie Smith. And he was like, I think the worst rated interior defensive lineman last year across the league. And this year has not been that much better. So,
Oh God.
I don't exonerate the front office here at all. But yeah, it's been bad luck.
Man.
Sure.
Well, at least you got Overshown, like
Yeah.
silver lining of this whole story.
He's
He
great.
seems to still be playing well.
Yeah, I'm glad we have him. But at the end of the day, he's one inside linebacker.
Yeah.
He can't take over a game the way like Parsons can if he feels like it. Maybe next year.
Parsons. He was at the Mike Tyson fight.
Of course he was. Did you watch
him
that?
and Jerry Jones? He's just, ever since you pointed it out, he's just grown more and more cringe to me.
Okay, good. I'm glad I supported you.
Good. Man, I would be happy if that was, dude, he's an awesome player. Like
he is. He's an
I would
amazing
want to
player.
find reasons for him to stick around.
I would rather have like a Pickens type of diva, that's just an idiot, but also
Pickens?
Yeah.
You'd be okay with a player on your team just being just turning around, like their interception happens and you just go and tackle somebody that doesn't and is not involved in the play. You'd rather have that?
I want the player who irrationally believes they're the best player of all time and that thinks they should get the ball every down than the player who sells his teammates and his coaching staff and throws them under the bus.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I feel like those are two ends of the spectrum. You definitely want a player that's confident, like very confident. Overly confident can be a bad deal. I feel like Pickens is that. We could disagree there. That's okay. And
You're right.
And then you have like the very toxic personality in the locker room that's just creating drama, where Parsons is just talking shit about the leadership. That never goes over well. Yeah, I wouldn't
and he
want that,
also
dude.
calls himself the leader. But I'll stop there. He's a great player.
Is he even playing well this year? I know he's been injured.
He's been up and down from what I've seen. Since he got back, he's been pretty good, which is nice.
Damn, he's 25 years old. Damn. The superstar, Micah Parsons. While we were briefly talking about Joe Mixon, I was curious where he stood on the rushing yards leaders for 2024.
Yeah.
This list is shocking overall. Because I know that Joe Mixon missed a lot of games, but he is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Number 16 in the NFL, just behind Jonathan Taylor with 655 yards. I know. Number 1 is obviously Derrick Henry, but dude, Derrick Henry has 1,185 yards, and people are talking about, he could fuck around and get 2,000 yards.
2K.
Saquon Barkley, 1,137 yards. He's right there. He could totally do it.
He's having a better year than Henry, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's so fucking good.
I mean, Barkley is just fucking specimen. It's impressive what he's doing every game too.
I hate the Giants.
I think there's a case to be made that Barkley has a better chance than Henry, because who's taking away Barkley's rush yard potential opportunities?
No one. Maybe Hurts if they get enough 4th and 1s.
Yeah, he's been passing a lot more, and he's stealing mainly the touchdowns, the brotherly shoves at the goal line. But I bring that up because Lamar Jackson has 584 yards on the season. Imagine if they had a pocket passing quarterback instead of Lamar, and you threw those yards onto Derrick Henry. Instead of it being 600, but let's just say you throw on 400, he would be at 1,500 yards rushing this year. 1,600, which is wild.
It is wild. I feel like we'll never see that again.
No. He's just on the scheme he's in right now is heavily favoring him, and he wasn't even featured. Let's jump into that. He wasn't even featured in the last 10 minutes of the game against the Steelers. It was all passing downs, and Lamar was just playing miserably.
Well, they took him away, did they not?
They what?
Pittsburgh. They basically neutralized him. They sold out against the run. That was my interpretation. And Baltimore really was unable to make him pay. I see that little proverb on your whiteboard. That's kind of where I land too, by the way. Just a little bit. Just a little tiny
bit. For the
bit.
viewers, I have a whiteboard, and I wrote before the pod, Lamar a little overrated. I wrote that because I don't think we talk enough about Lamar's leadership and consistency. I think it happens every year to the extent where I feel like his emotions get the better of him whenever he gets frustrated and he just plays worse. And it happens regularly against the Steelers. And I think this is going to hold them back from the Super Bowl. Like, the team is going to succeed. Like, their scheme offensively is just improving year to year. Even when they had Roman at coordinator, they were still such a dominant offense. But it's not the scheme that's going to hold them back. I feel like it's Lamar that's going to hold them back. And that's why I put that on the board, because I think it deserves a longer conversation. Like, is Lamar doing everything he can as a football player to put them in the best position to succeed? Because the temper tantrums and the frustration, the body language, I don't know. I think he's getting like some weird superstar treatment, and it shouldn't be sliding. What do you think?
I agree completely. He has that like receiver edge to him, not in a good way. Like, he's obviously not on like a Pickens or Parsons level. He's nothing like that. Like, he's not a problem in the locker room that I've heard of, Lamar. But I agree. He just seems like when it's not going his way, you're right. He kind of shrinks, both with his like body language along with his actual play. Like, he stops wanting to run. Like in the playoffs last year, I'd never seen him just like shy away from green grass like that.
Yeah.
And I also think he like the inconsistent or once inconsistent throwing that he's been guilty of props up again. And like this year, he's kind of silenced any doubts that I had as far as like, can he throw in the middle of the field? Of course he can. He's been destroying everyone, but he didn't against Pittsburgh. And you're right. It's like either Tomlin like has something on him that we just don't know about, or he just knows how to play against him.
It's a bizarre it's bizarre juju for Lamar against Tomlin. Tomlin's consistently shut down Lamar this game. He went 16 for 33, 207 yards, touchdown, picked off. He had 4 carries, 46 yards. And the offense as a whole was just not very good. It's worth noting Russell Wilson had a QBR of 11.4, which is the worst QBR of the weekend, and they won.
Did he really?
Yeah. He's terrible. 23 for 36, so 205 yards, no touchdowns, a pick. That's Russell Wilson, that is.
I didn't notice it was that bad.
Yeah, man, he wasn't good, but that just goes to show how good that defense is. They've got Lamar's number. There were a lot of costly drops that Baltimore had. Do you remember that Zay Flowers drop?
Yep.
It was 3rd and long, and it hits him. Oh God, it was bad.
That's painful.
I'm talking like he turns his head before he catches that bitch, and it hits him right in the chest and bounces, and he just puts his hands on his head. He's like, "Oh God, what have I done?" It was like
that
late
just
in the
happened.
fourth, and it was terrible. Yeah. Yeah, man. That was such a fun game to watch, though. I'm so glad it was a noon game.
I thought about you while watching that game.
It was one of those games. It was a defensive struggle, total of only 34 points. Like, it was fun, man. Yeah, Steelers moved to 8-2. Baltimore 7-4. I feel like Pittsburgh, this division's theirs to lose. With Russell Wilson at the home, it's going to take some devastating losses for them to fall off the top of the AFC North.
They're definitely in the driver's seat. But I still feel better about the Ravens when it comes to like January. I don't know about you, but to me, the Ravens have more paths to a Super Bowl, right? Whereas the Steelers, to me, have one path, and that involves grinding the shit out of each game, making every single one of your opponents pull out all of their hair, which is viable. Like that's what the Steelers do. Whereas the Ravens can beat you in multiple ways. And I know their defense has been like really, really bad, but I still feel like they're going to shore some of that up at least, even if it's just like smoke and mirrors. I kind of trust that coaching staff to conjure up some stuff when it comes to the playoffs. What do you think?
I'm a little different from you because I think the Steelers, I've decided to give them a little bit more credit because, I mean, Tomlin's been pretty consistent and he's got some weapons and a very consistent defense. Like he has everything he needs. So I feel like if it doesn't go well, then you have to start looking at Tomlin like, all right, what's your excuse now? And then I also differ with Baltimore because I used to, remember me saying that I think they've got the makeup of a Super Bowl team. But I can't say that anymore because the defense, even though they played better, they're just not playing well enough. And then this is yet again another instance of Lamar, really shitting the bed, that is, right? And that can't happen. He's done that in the playoffs before. If that doesn't get fixed, then I don't know what's going to prove that it does get fixed, but it needs to get fixed in order for them to be a serious contender. And I think I've kind of had that revelation after that game. I'm like, I don't think it's going to happen unless Lamar changes. So I've basically fallen off
Wow.
Baltimore as a favorite because of this game, and I've added I've bought more Pittsburgh stock. They're serious. I think they're serious contenders. The Steelers are.
Okay, it's reasonable. You would take the Steelers to beat the Chiefs before you would take the Ravens in January.
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Right now, I would.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's close though, because the offensive talent for Baltimore is just so much better than the Steelers, and they still have studs. Baltimore does on defense, so they're just not playing well enough. So I'm still like remembering that there's that potential defensively for them to come back to what they were last year. But yeah, right now I'd probably take Pittsburgh. I trust them a little bit more. TJ Watt's, again, playing out of his mind. Did you see him stick Henry in the backfield?
I did.
260 pounds human. TJ Watt just absolutely obliterates him in the backfield. It was so cool.
He's one of the top 5 players in the league, right? Watt.
Yeah, I think, you know what, man? After this game, it might be his defensive player of the year to lose. Defensive MVP.
I think you're right. I haven't checked the odds at all, but I don't know who'd be above him. He is that good.
Let's check the odds right now. Oh, I don't have them. They're not up yet. The weekend's got to end.
All right.
Anyways, so I have some notes before I move on about this. I have some notes on this game before I move on to some other stuff I wanted to bring up. Mike Tomlin and John Harbaugh. This is the 36th time they've played each other. It's a lot. Now, since Lamar Jackson's been part of the Ravens, he's only played and started against the Steelers 5 times. 5 out of 8. He's been injured or whatever. 3 of those 8 times. His averages, this is the evidence that I'm pointing to, is like he's got bad juju with the Steelers. He's 41% passing, 59.9 passer rating, and he is consistently his worst performance of the season when he plays the Steelers.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's really bad. That's really bad. That's just unclutch. When it matters most, he plays bad. Yeah, it's sad. I like Lamar. He's fun to watch, and it annoys me that he is unclutch in these big games. Anyways, we've beat that horse enough. We got to talk about something, man. It might be time to take our boy out behind the shed and old yeller him.
Don't say it.
Tucker.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
Has lost the most accurate kicker in NFL history title.
He should have retired last week. What was this man thinking?
It is now Eddie Pinheiro. And it's because of the 2 missed kicks he's had today. It dropped him to second place all time. He's been so bad.
Dude,
What's going on with our boy?
I don't know, but it seems like it's an epidemic across the league. Don't you think?
Oh my God, dude, yes. It was so bad this weekend.
What a turnaround from week 3 or 4 when you were telling me that they just couldn't miss.
Yeah. Okay, AFC North kickers in general. Boswell was the only good kicker this weekend. He went 6 for 6 in this game.
Good luck if you
He
face
was
him in
lights out.
fantasy.
You did? Oh God, that's brutal. Everyone else in the AFC North went 3 for 9. 3 for 9. Including McPherson's super unclutch kick against the Chargers.
He's
Holy
awful.
Shit. What the?
He deserves to lose
Man,
his
that
job.
was rough.
At least Tucker has, like, you know, one of the greatest kicking careers of all time.
bro, he's slowly it's becoming a detriment to his career. He's got to
No, it
figure
is.
this out. I'm getting really worried about his image of his career. Yeah, he's had an awesome first 2/3 of his career, but he cannot let this continue because I mean, kickers are such a premium considering everybody's bad. He can't continue doing this. I'm just really worried about my boy. I
That's why they.
like let's put it this way. I'm walking Justin Tucker behind the shed, and he is like this is the point we're at. Like I've got him by the leash, and I'm like, come on, boy, this time. And Tucker is probably like, no, 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 and he's just like making his case. Like we're at that point right now.
He's
Like
whimpering.
we're not. Yeah. He's really sad. He realizes what he's done. He's trying to fight for his life
He's
right now.
chomping at the bit.
But
No,
yeah, man, it's
poor
not
baby.
quite yet that the witching hour where he's actually going to be put out of his misery. But we're on our way. We're on our way.
Go out when you're on top, kids. I don't know. I mean, that's why teams
I couldn't
draft
agree with that more.
kickers in the 4th round now, right? It actually it's really important. If you miss a field goal, you lose the game. That kind of sucks.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the AFC North kickers, Dustin Hopkins, Browns kicker. Now, the Browns got demolished by my boys, Saints, playing much better without Dennis Allen at the helm.
Old
Who would have
Dennis.
thought? But man, did I ever tell you about Dustin Hopkins in our history?
I don't think so.
Really? Okay, get this, dude. Dustin Hopkins is my age. I'm 34. So Hopkins and Dustin and I played on the same soccer team. We played the same position. We both played strikers for a club soccer team from when we were 10 years old all the way up to we went to high school. So roughly, 6 years, seven almost. So we were pretty close. Like I would go over to his house, hang out with his family,
Are you being for real?
vice versa. We were really close. Then we both started playing football at the same time. He was much more talented than me, obviously. He had a hell of a leg, and we would shoot the shit a little bit after football games because we went to different high schools. And it was always fun just, talking to him like, oh, how's kicking going? How's soccer going? Stuff like that. And then he was like really good. He got a full ride to, oh shoot, I can't remember. But then he got drafted by the Chargers. And that's when his life really took off. And it's just kind of wild to see, childhood friend is now a pro kicker. But he's fallen off. It's bizarre. Like, dude, he's been so bad.
Ask him
It's
what's
really
wrong.
weird to see that. He's never been that. I've never seen him be that bad at kicking. And
Dustin
like you
Hopkins,
said,
for real?
yeah, I didn't make that
Wow,
up.
that's cool. How does it feel
But
to be
I am
friends with
sad
the
for
blue guy?
him. It's a little bit more personal seeing him struggle because I'm just like, come on, Dustin, dude, I know you're better than this. I have to wonder if there's something in the water they're giving to the kickers in the NFL.
That's really what it feels like. Wait, didn't you get a D1 offer?
No,
Sorry, I thought you did. It doesn't matter.
that's very kind of you to ask if I have. No, I didn't. I interviewed with TCU and Rice, and that I was offered full rides for school, but I really wanted to go to Texas, and they both said that like we'll give you free rides, but you'd have to walk on if you wanted to play football. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I'd rather go to Texas. So
Smart man.
I'm glad you agree. I didn't love football that much. I was also already in the camp at that point where I was thinking a career in football is not probably a smart thing to do. But anyways, I digress. Back to football. So, yeah, I put at the top of our list, man, our kickers have been really bad, right? So,
Mhm.
dude, should we just eliminate special teams? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Can we just get rid of that? Let's just.
I'm okay with it.
What are the downsides here?
Downsides, less variance in the game, which is only bad if you suck. That's about it. That's all I got. Maybe less injuries.
That's not a whole lot of downsides. I
No,
hear.
that's a positive.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, man. Wouldn't that be fun? Just lots of fourth down conversions, going for two.
No, I mean, my heart agrees with you, truly. But there's something to be said about the tension of like that 45-yarder as time expires. That you just don't get that with like a 60-yard Hail Mary. Even though it's really cool when it hits, like, like Jaden Daniels or something. But more often it's just gonna fall flat and then game's over and everyone goes home. But I'm mostly just playing devil's advocate. I definitely hate special teams. I promise.
Why do you hate it so much? Frustration?
Because probably similar thoughts to what you have. Like, yeah, frustration and the inconsistency. And then also it just feels like a different game, right? Like, if I want to watch like highlights of a football game, I'm never gonna watch like field goals, right? And even if a game is decided on a field goal, it's not like I'm particularly interested in watching the highlight of that kick. I mostly just want to know if it went in or not. Whereas I'll gladly watch like the all 22 of some random drive that stalled out because I think that's just really interesting to me. Like watching the games within the game, whether it's like on the back end of a corner shadowing like a stud receiver, or if it's like in the trenches, whatever, or just a quarterback that's like feeling really hot and just diagnosing everything. None of that comes into play with like field punts or kicks. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. You're almost touching on a little bit of traditionalism there.
Almost.
Yeah, it'll never happen, of course, but there's a lot of questions that come up if you ever to do something like this, and the conversation only is coming up because of how bad special teams has been lately. It's not even exciting; it's just annoying. Like, what the, going back 2 weeks ago with was it last week when Denver loses because of a block? Their kicks get blocked. Happens again this weekend. It's so stupid. The Bears. It's been 2,167 days since the Bears have beaten the Packers, and they were kicking a 40. You're like, why do you know that? And then that was a 47-yard field goal, well within Santos's range. Confident kicker, one of the better kickers this year. He gets his shit blocked, and the Packers win 20-19. Why? Why is this happening?
Do you think Goodell ordered that in so that we would not suspect that he ordered the Chiefs winning last week?
Dude, I will not deny the conspiracy theorists for suggestions like that. Anything's on the table with the amount of variance we're seeing.
Yeah. It's always the most historical shit too. Like you said, it's been 3 centuries since the Bears beat the Packers and then the Chiefs. Although the Chiefs finally lost. So you were right. Good job, Simone. And
I'm not
Xavier
happy
Worthy
about being right, to be honest.
finally had a good game.
This is the first time in NFL history, technically, the first time since Burrow, Mahomes, and Lamar were all in the league at the same time. This is the first time they've all lost in the same week, ever.
Damn, that's kind of cool.
That is a cool stat.
The fact that they hadn't lost, yeah.
All great games. This was an awesome weekend. A lot of great football.
It was,
a lot of fun games. A lot of exciting games. Another thing I wanted to bring up, considering the state of football, I read this article from Business Insider. Sportsbooks wary of the Q4 outlook following unfavorable outcomes. Now, there's not as many stats that I would like to see. I love stats to really back up the things that they're saying here. But I'll just I'm just going to give you a few quotes that I thought were really interesting. And hold on. Yeah, so every quarter they're going to put out revenue forecasts, and this revenue forecast is like over $200 million short of last year's revenue expectations, last quarter's revenue expectations, because of quote unquote customer friendly outcomes, which means what they're saying is all the favorites and the public is winning over and over and over again. Now, there's another quote here from a representative at DraftKings that says, "This is the most customer-friendly stretch of NFL sport outcomes that has ever happened." So I mean, that's quite a statement for a betting company to say that, and it makes sense. I've complained so much on this podcast about how impossible it is to predict what's going on, and it's been the public's year, man. Their pockets are getting fat, and the underdogs are just not winning. And for the first time all season, last week was the underdogs go 11-14 ATS, with 7 of them winning outright, and I finally have a winning week. Of course, that's how it goes. But it's just been I bet dogs, in case you haven't noticed, the listeners.
You're the only smart bettor. That's what's going on here.
No, I'm clearly the stupid bettor. Hasn't been a great year. I'm betting dogs, and I should have been betting with the public. I should have been betting on the fucking Lions. My betting instincts refuse for me to bet on a number like the Jags. They're favored by 14 points. I'm not betting that. Guess what they do? They go out there and beat the Jags 52-6. What the fuck?
It's hard. I agree completely. It's hard to bet in the NFL. It's hard to bet any spread in the double digits. It's just not something you want to touch, because historically that's not what happens in this league. But
no.
I don't know. Dan Campbell just wants to kick everyone's ass for some reason, which, hey.
Kind of cool, actually.
What a bully. He's an Aggie. I always forget that, but it makes sense.
My God, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Dang.
Doesn't that suck?
Could be worse. Could be a senior. But yeah, man, I wanted to bring up how much of an anomaly this season has been. The favorites have just been unbelievable this year, and yeah, it's been a tough year for predicting what's going to happen, and I don't see it turning the other way. The rest of the year is going to most likely be more. You know what? I changed my mind. It may not be that way, because the sports books have to adjust. They're going to start giving way too many points to favorites so that they can start getting the public to start betting on dogs, because I don't know, man. The sports books are going to adjust, because they can't continue losing money like this. So there will be an adjustment.
Really interesting question. I'm not sure they'll make a huge effort to shake things up, to be honest, because on some level, if you have a sophisticated model that's been making you money year over year, and then it's just doing poorly this season, I would kind of be inclined to stick with it, speaking from like the perspective of the betting markets here,
Mm-hmm.
because I have to believe that like I don't know some of these shit teams that we've been watching will improve a little bit. Some of the powerhouses will just slow down just a little bit, and also as we get closer to the playoffs, we'll see like a little bit more thought going towards injuries. You know, keeping teams healthy to make sure that they're
Yeah.
available to play when it matters. But I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe they'll do something conscious to make some of that money back. Anecdotally, though, I also think it's absolutely spot on because I know a couple of the people's betters that have been having some really resounding success this year, to my surprise.
Really?
So congrats to them. Yeah,
They're probably starting a podcast as we speak.
probably. They're gonna give away all their secrets.
Yeah. Anyways, man. Let's go over some slates of games, huh?
Yeah.
Last Thursday, the Commanders go into Philadelphia. They lose. Kind of a fun game, but Commanders were oddly not playing very well, and Philadelphia really stifles that offense. So I think they lose 26-18.
It felt like more than that too, but yeah.
You know how we talked about the winner of this game is going to be the winner of the division.
Yeah.
I think we got our answer. I mean,
think so
the
too.
Commanders aren't ready. I think Philly is definitely going to take this division.
Agreed. But that's okay. Commanders can still make the playoffs.
Yeah, let's talk about their remaining schedule. Commanders schedule. So they got Cowboys at home this Sunday, Titans at home. They go to New Orleans. That's a loss.
Right.
They have the Eagles at home. Falcons at home. They go at Dallas. Not a terrible schedule. I think they can climb out of this hole, but they play the Eagles again. And they got to play the Saints. That's tough. Yeah, it's a doable schedule, but I have to assume the Eagles schedule is easier. Let me check that real fast.
I thought we looked at it last week, yeah, and I remember it was quite easy.
Yeah. All right. The Eagles' remaining schedule. They're at Rams next week, Sunday Night Football. They're favored by 3 points, by the way. Eagles at Ravens. They got the Panthers at home. That's an easy game. They got the Steelers at home.
Oh, I guess that's not so easy.
That's not so easy. Yeah, they're going at Baltimore, but then home for the Steelers. Then they go at the Commanders. That won't be an easy game either.
No.
Then they got home for the Cowboys and then home for the Giants.
And they'll lose to the Cowboys.
Won't be so bad. This might be a harder schedule than the Commanders. You know what?
I think it is actually. I had it wrong.
Yeah, that might not be their division quite yet. We'll see. Maybe the Commanders still have a chance. But obviously, they're a game behind them. They got to make up. But yeah, that's interesting. Any other thoughts on that game? Other than Saquon being a beast?
No, that's pretty much the story. Let's see. The Commanders' offense has come back to earth. I think defenses have realized they just need to key in on the ground game, not just because of Daniels, but also because of those running backs. Those are like the two best skill players that the Commanders have. And then they're just leaving corners out on an island, and then Washington struggles to really push it downfield, which makes sense. Like, it's a rookie quarterback. I still think
the exciting whites came to play.
Yeah. But they're still fun to watch, Washington. I really like that they utilize two running backs. That's pretty rare now in the NFL.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, they didn't utilize Daniels, man. He 3 carries for 5 yards.
Yeah, I think they're scared
of getting
him getting hurt. Yeah.
We're trying to protect him. That's got to be
Right. Yeah. He'll be okay.
it. Yeah, he'll be fine. He's a big boy. Yeah, we kind of touched on it already. In the 12 o'clock slot, Chicago plays well at home, but they lose to the Packers 2019. Packers didn't play particularly well. Their Lucky Jacobs had a great game. He looks great. I really like Josh Jacobs' game. But Caleb Williams, most importantly, without Shane Waldron, looks much better. It might just be a confidence thing. He was reported to hold himself accountable in the locker room by saying, "Hey, my bad, guys. I'm going to play better," and he did. And didn't win, but it's good to see Caleb play a little bit better. He hadn't thrown a touchdown in like a month.
He did play pretty well. The more I watch him, though, the more I feel like I just have no idea who this guy is, because he plays
He's still
like
a rookie, man.
He's still a rookie, right? I understand. It's just that makes me even more confused sometimes because, like, he does have this weird ability to just create magic sometimes, especially like if you watch his college tape. That's all he was doing. In the NFL, it's much harder, obviously. But it feels like he sometimes wants to try to overcomplicate things so that he could sort of work out of structure, when sometimes it's better to just take what's given to you. And I think he's slowly learning that, hopefully. But yeah, there have been games, obviously, earlier in the season where he just doesn't look comfortable at all. And it can be frustrating, I imagine, if you're a Bears fan watching that and just being like, just take the check down or something. But he did look good on Sunday, and that wasn't his first good game either. He'll be fine, I think.
Yeah. Well, I would say, considering how strong their division is, that was a division game. Very key loss. I think it's really unlikely they make the playoffs now.
Yeah.
Very unlikely. They're 4-6. So it's weird, but their season's over. So I hope they focus on development, start giving some of their other young players more playing, throw Rome Odunze the ball more. Like,
right.
You gave DJ Moore a contract already. What's the point? Like, Keenan Allen, don't get him hurt. I don't know, man.
I was gonna say, why are you even playing Keenan anymore?
Yeah. He played pretty well though in that game.
He did.
It was cool.
He did.
Normal.
He looks so.
Anyways, so yeah, these Packers, man. They're more of an interesting conversation to me because I'm not sure what their playoffs are going to look like, because Jordan Love's got to play better. The way he's playing right now, I mean, he's just turning it over too often. He's choosing to run more, and he's athletic. He can make a play here and there, but that's not what made him special. I mean, he's a gunslinger that's accurate, and I need to see more of that. I don't know why he's changed up his game a little bit, and I'm not sure that's for the benefit of the Packers.
Maybe a hot take, but I thought he kind of got too much love after last. No pun intended. He got a little overrated after last year. He's never felt to me like a top 10 quarterback. To me, he's like teetering on that edge.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's like consistent enough. Like he'll have games where he's accurate, and then he looks like he's a top 5 QB in the league. And then there are other times, like lately, where he just misses everything, and it kind of feels random. Like there's no way to guess which love you're getting.
I will say he has the same playing experience as CJ Stroud. This is his second year as a starter.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's easy to forget.
Yeah, of course. I mean, he sat like he should. It's not going to happen anymore. He's lucky, really, that he got to sit and learn from Rodgers. But yeah, it's only his second year starting. Technically, is 20th start or something, roughly the same as Stroud. So yeah, it could be a little bit of a sophomore slump, and he's still figuring things out. But I'm not really confident in the Packers as a playoff Cinderella. I think they're looking more and more like a team that's going to get bounced in the first round with their inconsistency. So we'll see. But enough about them. Let's talk about our Saints beating the Browns 35 to 16. I only have one note from this game to continue tooting the horn of my boys. The 4-7 Saints have spent more time leading in games than the 9-0 Chiefs. They've spent 4 hours and 25 minutes leading, and the Chiefs have only spent 4 hours and 2 minutes leading this season. Just gonna put that out there, man.
Saints are the better team.
Oh man, it's good to see the Saints. You could tell, like I watched a lot of that game. You could tell that they're having fun. I mean, the offense was clicking. There's a lot of smiles. Weirdly, I don't know. The team looks like they're in a much better place. The coach seems to have made an impact. Rizzo, or whatever.
Do you think he'll get named full time?
Redeemed. Yeah, I'm still a little hesitant with Carr, but the Saints are playing much better. And hey, I said it last week, dude. I think the Saints still have a shot to win this division. The Falcons got spanked.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the question right now for the Saints. Keep playing like this. I think there's a chance.
I definitely dismissed when you said that last week, but after watching the Falcons again, maybe I'm willing to reconsider. Kirk Cousins looked like shit again. I don't know what's going on with him. He's having an up and down year. But he looked like a statue, right? And also just missing throws again.
He was under duress. Denver doesn't get enough credit. That defense was stellar.
That's fair. Denver's legitimately good, and it's frustrating for me. I don't know why I hate them so much. Probably just because of Sean Payton.
Palpable, dude. That hatred. My goodness.
Well, I like Denver, the city, but not the Broncos.
Yeah. I see. Yeah, I mean, when you pair a good defense with a Bo Nix game where he goes 22 for 38, 22 for 28, three touchdowns, 300 yards. He was great. He was fantastic. So you're going to beat teams out of the water when you have a combination of those two aspects of the game going well. But yeah, Denver is a playoff team in my eyes. They're most likely going to be the one squeezing in instead of the Browns. I'm sorry, the Bengals. Bengals, their season's over. I mean, with another loss like that, can't recover from that. They're still a good team, but man, it's just not their year. They got to let go of Taylor. So the Bengals, at the end of the first half, Sunday Night Football, they were losing to the Chargers 24-6. Come back due to Herbert bad play. Then they have a chance to win the game with McPherson. McPherson misses the kick. And Herbert has some great throws to put him away. He comes out in the clutch. And it's just not Joe Burrow's fault, man. It sucks to see it. It really fucking sucks.
It's painful to watch. It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. So, okay, Joe Burrow has 3,028 passing yards, 27 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions this season. The Bengals are 4-7.
They have, for my money, you can call me a homer. That's fine. For my money, they have the best quarterback, the best receiver, and then probably one of the 3 best defensive ends in the league. And they're 4-7.
Yeah. Yep. I can't disagree. He's playing out of his mind, and it's just a shame. And well, he was asked, right, in an interview, like, how does it feel? Like, is this the most frustrating season?
Yeah.
What do you say? Is self-explanatory?
Yep. Well, I think he said yes, and then the follow up was, "Why is that?" And then he said, "Yeah, it's self-explanatory."
Yeah, yeah.
That's tough.
Joe Burrow is the first quarterback in NFL history to throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdown passes and 0 interceptions in back-to-back games and lose both.
He's making history, man. That's the Joe that I know.
We'll never remember. Which is really sad. It is gonna go down as a season where people are not gonna remember this.
Right,
You know
exactly.
what I mean?
And that's what sucks. But hey, he's only like 27, so hopefully he stays healthy. Hopefully they
Holy
fire
shit.
Zach.
Joe Burrow's 27, dude, in
Yeah,
quarterback age. That's so young.
yeah, he's got plenty of years ahead of him. I really hope at least. But they need to fire Zach yesterday
They really do.
and then
A
move
lot
on.
of bad decisions in that
Yeah,
game again.
draft a stud offensive lineman, sign some defensive players, and make your way back.
You can just tell the team is frustrated with the decision making.
Oh yeah,
The body
I mean,
language on the sideline, it's bad. It's so bad.
some of the stuff that I read online, it kind of seems like there's also maybe a few players that don't give a shit. It's mostly speculation for sure, but anytime you read something like that, it's generally a sign that obviously it's not going well, which it's not, but also that like maybe there's some truth to it, and maybe it's like Zach's lost the locker room to some extent. Which,
Yeah,
like, that's not surprising at all, right? If you're 4-7,
man. When you've got demeanor like you see with the Bengals, 7 out of 10 times it's the locker room is not great as well.
yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's like any other occupation, right?
Yeah, exactly. Chargers, legit. You think they're legit?
Yeah, I do. Mostly
This
because
is
of
the first good team they played in a while. So
their defense is very legit. And then combining that with potentially the best year that Justin Herbert's ever had makes them
yeah,
very
he is
dangerous.
having his career year. So their hardest game of the season is this Monday. They're at home for Baltimore. Baltimore's favored by 3 points. I think we're going to get a lot of answers for that game. Because personally, I don't think they've played anybody very good. Like really good, top tier.
I agree.
So they still got to play the Chiefs twice. No,
once. They did play the Chiefs, but they lost.
It's true. So they lost 17-10. Yeah, so the San Diego, Los Angeles still has to go to Kansas City. That's another night game. But yeah, they've got a tough. Well, it's not an easy schedule. They got Ravens, home for Ravens, at Atlanta, they're at Kansas City, home for Tampa Bay, home for Denver. Not an easy game all of a sudden, right?
Mm-hmm.
They go to New England and then they go to Las Vegas. So at least 3 easy wins, but they kind of need to win at least 4 of those games. That means beating one of those good teams in order to solidify their spot in the playoffs. And for their likelihood of making a run, they need to beat good teams. Because I'm not convinced yet.
I think they're better than Denver. I would definitely take them on a neutral field.
They did beat Denver already.
Oh, yeah.
23-16.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a hard time being sold on Denver. I know I'm a hater, but
it really hinges on Bo Nix. You know?
Right.
He's got it. It's crazy how much a rookie and his play determines how well the team is going to be. I think it's because of Sean Payton's scheme really puts a lot of pressure on Bo Nix. And
in a certain sense,
this is the result.
I think in another sense, it also alleviates a lot of the pressure. Because
What's up?
So like watching the game yesterday, don't get me wrong, Knicks looks awesome, and I mean it sucks just to say that I'm not a Knicks fan, but even with that, like yeah, he was great. I still didn't come away that impressed, and I know I'm a hater, but like, can you identify one play where Bo Nix like actually threw someone open and or made like a really challenging throw at the NFL level? Because to me, it felt like the scheme was destroying the Falcons, and Nix was basically just making the right read, throwing the ball, and then picking up chunk plays. Which that's great. Like that's still not easy to do, and a lot of starters can't even do that. So that
Yeah.
already puts Bo Nix in a good spot. But I think he's a far way away from like a Justin Herbert personally, who I think is capable of like actually taking over a game and beating you on his own. But I don't know. We'll see.
We shall. I don't really have any dog in this fight for Bo Nix. I'm skeptical of really any rookie quarterback except someone named Jaden Daniels. So
Yeah.
it's the rookie season. There's hardly any tape on the guy. So it's hard to really take away anything from a season like this. So yeah, I see what you're saying. I have a hard time making any judgments or determinations. The only thing that I would be betting on if I were ever to bet on Denver is the defense because they are still
They're
one of
elite.
the best in the NFL. They're kind of like the Chiefs. They're a defensive-minded team. So that game's going to be a good game. That's 3 weeks from now, but yeah, it'll be fun. We're honestly going to get answers pretty quick. Well, who are they playing next? Because I thought they were playing somebody good. Broncos schedule. Oh no, they're going at Las Vegas. Then they got the Browns at home. Then they got the Colts at home. Oh my God. Then they're at Los Angeles. Then they go at the Bengals. They're done. Then they're at home for the Chiefs. That schedule is pretty favorable. I mean, they could be playing the Chiefs when they're resting players. I mean, the undefeated season's over.
That's true.
It's almost a guarantee.
Yeah. And the Chiefs lost, so they won't be playing for undefeated.
Yeah. Dude, that's a Broncos. I'd bet on them to make the playoffs. Yeah, they got a interesting schedule ahead of them. We kind of touched on Atlanta. So yeah, they're on the other end of this. They lost 38-6. Kirk Cousins was bad. Bijan was non-existent. It was just a tough day for the offense. And I'm happy to see it, baby. Falcons suck. I think they're overrated. I think the defense got so many glaring issues and does not get enough hate for it. They're lucky that their offense has kind of carried them over the past few weeks.
Yeah, their defense sucks. I'm worried about Kirk Cousins, man. Because that team will go as he goes.
Yeah. We aren't going to see Penix, man. As long as they're in the playoff hunt, we are not seeing Penix.
He got in there towards the end when I was already kind of tuned out.
Oh, really? Fine. I didn't know.
Yeah, because it was a blowout. Honestly,
okay, yeah.
He made a couple nice throws. I actually really like Penix, partly because he destroyed our team. And I saw that game live. And then, yeah.
Dude, I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, he's good.
I really liked him. After he killed us, we're talking about Texas, by the way. When Washington killed us, I was like, damn. Dude, I really like this Penix guy. I didn't see him play at all until now, and they deserve to win. We were not ready for that shit. Top tier name.
Oh yeah, one of the better ones. Which we're gonna play that soon.
Oh, dude. Okay,
I didn't even
we got a game
him.
for you guys. For us.
Maybe I'll pick him.
It was suggested by one of our devoted listeners. Now I will say that the game that was suggested was much more difficult than we wanted it to be, so we dumbed it down a little bit. So the game that we're going to play is we're going to do a little draft and draft the best. We're going to like a fantasy draft format where we draft players onto our fantasy team at particular positions, but the value of the player is based on how cool their name is. We're going to go 10 rounds, snake draft. And Eddie,
Oh no.
You're getting the first pick, dog.
Oh, dang it. Okay,
Big
that's a lot
dog.
of pressure. Let me pull up my draft board.
Yeah, pull up your draft board. A few notes. We're going to be drafting quarterback, running back, 2 wide receivers, tight end, flex, edge rusher, defensive tackle, linebacker, safety, cornerback.
All right, let me go through that one more time just to make sure I got it. 1 quarterback, 1 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, 1 tight end, 1 edge rusher, 1 linebacker, 1 corner, 1 safety.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a solid list of like 30 names here, including a couple kickers, which is useless. That's not part of the roster.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I should have added kickers. We can add another round if you care.
Okay.
Anyways.
That doesn't matter.
No.
From the names that I compiled, I felt like one of the most thin positions in terms of names was the safety position. So I think I'm going to take a safety with the 1.01. That'll be none other than Clinton Dix.
Ah, you son of a gun. He was top. He was top of my list. How can you not like that? How can you not like that name? Clinton Dix.
Clinton Dix.
Great selection, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that leaves me with 2 picks in our snake draft. All right. I'm going to do this now because I know you're going to take him.
Okay.
All right. I'm going wide receiver. I'm going little Jordan Humphrey.
Damn it. Yep.
He was probably the best offensive name in the yeah, I knew you'd hate that.
Oh yeah.
Get him out of the way. That's how good that name is. Little Jordan Humphrey. Come on, man.
It's elite. And he's still playing. He scored. He scored yesterday.
Yeah. He scored. Oh, fuck yeah. Sorry, I didn't know that.
From Bo Nix.
Okay. And let me think hard here about this. All right. I think I'm going to go with for my all right, I'm going to go for quarterback. And I'm going to go with Major Applewhite.
Wow.
That's my second pick.
Okay.
He did play a season in the NFL.
I knew he
drafted
played
by the New England Patriots, 2002.
Wow. He wasn't on my board, but that's a great name. And obviously I know who he is.
Fuck, I should have waited. Damn it. Dude, I knew you're a Texas fan, and I was like, he might pull this one out. So I was worried. That's why I decided to take him.
That's funny because, so obviously I know who Applewhite is. I like him. But to me, the best quarterback name of all time is also Texas, but it's not major. It's not major. But now I don't have to pick him because you already took a QB, unless you want to take 2, which is fine. But
see, I was deliberating. I was like, I know he loves Colt, right?
Yeah.
But like, is he the best name? I think we'll figure it out in the end. Who's got the better name? But I think Applewhite's a better name. So,
all right.
Anyways, good. Take your guy.
I'm gonna wait on Colt, just because you already. Yeah, we just talked about it. But let's see. You took a receiver, and I don't think there's that many great receivers.
Cool. That's loser talk right there.
And I got to take 2, if not 3. Damn. Okay. for my first of the 2 picks, I'm gonna take a cornerback. Oh, there's a lot of good corner names is the thing, so I could just
There's
wait.
a lot of good
There's
corners.
so many good ones. No, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna take a receiver, and it's gonna be
Alright.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's also an elite
Yeah.
player. So I'll scoop him
It's a
up.
great name.
His
Sun
brother is
God.
also a good candidate. Yes.
Equimenia St. Brown.
Yes. I also feel like edge is thin. So yeah, I'm gonna take an edge, and I'm stuck between 2.
I hope you're writing these down because I'm writing down my drafted team.
I am, or I'm highlighting them. I'll take Whitney Merciless, longtime player for the Houston
Yeah.
Texans.
Yeah, I had a feeling you're gonna take him.
He's good. Great name.
Great name.
Yeah.
Great name. Okay. So I can wait on linebacker. I can wait on corner. Or no, you took a safety.
I did. I have safety, receiver, edge.
Okay. All right. I think I'm going to go for wide receiver. I've already got one, but it's all about value when it comes to drafting, right? I'm going to go
That's what-
TJ Houshmandzadeh.
Okay. That's a good one.
This is my third pick. All right. That's my second wide receiver. And then for running back, I'm going to go with He Hate Me, Rod Smart.
Nice.
Yeah. What a great name.
That's
He
elite.
Hate Me. Doesn't get much better than that. All right, I leave it to you, sir.
I came across He Hate Me, and it was perfect for this exercise, but I didn't feel like I should take him, even though it's like arguably
Why?
worthy of the 1.01 because I've just never heard of him before tonight. So
Really?
I felt, yeah,
He's
I know
great
that's
names.
crazy. Yeah. And I wanted to at least have heard of the guys I'm taking. But it's a great pick for sure. All right, I'm up. There's not a lot of running backs either. Ellie, you took the best one.
It's all about value, baby.
Yeah, it is. I'm gonna go ahead and take a running back since I just said that. I'll take Tank Bigsby.
Tank Bigsby.
I don't love that value, but I'm telling you, it's a thin position from the names that
Still
I
a
came
great
across.
name.
It is a good name.
Yeah.
So that's adequate, and that's all I need for running back. We're playing Moneyball. Okay. I still think there's a lot of depth available at corner. So I'm going to take my tight end here. I'm going to take Jake Butt.
Whoa, that wasn't on my board. Let's go.
No? Oh, damn. Okay.
Still, great name.
It is a good name. You're up.
All right, so you got an edge. Wait, you consider Whitney Merciless an edge?
Yeah.
I had him on board as a linebacker. All right, so that means
edge.
All right, I'm gonna go linebacker then.
Oh no.
Oh, am I about to take your boy? I've got a few good options here.
There's a couple. I felt like it was top heavy. Maybe I should have taken linebacker. Well,
I'm gonna go Dick Butkus.
Yeah, I should have taken Dick. What was I thinking?
I can't pass him up.
Right. I should have taken.
I have some other good options here, but Dick Butkus is my pick.
He's like near the top of my board across positions. I don't know why I didn't take him.
Snooze, you lose.
I know. Good pick.
All right, for my sixth pick, I'm gonna go. Oh shoot. I think I'm gonna go with. I got a decision here. Flex or defensive tackle. I am gonna go. I'm gonna go flex.
Okay.
Priest Holmes. He's going to be my
that's good.
6th pick.
I didn't consider him, but that's a good one.
He's just near and dear to my heart. Priest, his celebration, I'll never forget it. It's the simple simple bow.
Iconic.
It's beautiful.
Reminds me of Nick.
Iconic. Have you already gotten a running back?
Yeah, I took Tank Bigsby.
Okay. You know, I was deciding between Priest Holmes and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Ben Jarvis.
All
That's so fun to say.
right, you're on the clock.
Right. All right. I need another receiver, and in fact, I probably will take 2 more because I don't love the running back options. So I'll take. I'll take Puka Nacua, who's another elite receiver.
You're such a homer, dude. You're such a homer.
So Puka's a great name. What do you think?
It's a good name.
I know you're jealous.
It's just funny that you're taking on your fantasy guys and all your guys. All right, so I think that was your first pick, right?
Yeah, I got another one. And now I'm finally probably going to take a corner. And there's so many great ones.
Oh, fuck. I haven't taken a corner.
No, you know what?
Son of a bitch.
You know what? I might let that go to you because I still don't have although you just took your linebacker. No, yeah, I'm taking corner. I'm going to take. Actually, I can't even make up my mind. There's so many good. I'll take Rock Ya-Sin. And I know who you want. So I kind of wanted to take the guy that you wanted, but personally, Rock is my favorite name of the
great name.
And there's a lot of great options again, but this one's awesome for me, so I'm taking him.
Okay. He didn't go defensive tackle. All right, so I'm just going to get that out of the way. For my 7th pick, I'm going to go with Ishmaeli Kitchen. Is that on your board?
No, that's news to me.
Ishmaeli Kitchen.
That's great.
And Ndamukong Suh was also on my board. But that felt too vanilla, you know. I wanted to shake things up a little bit. All right, and then for my 8th pick, just to wow you, I'm going to go with a name we've already mentioned on the pod, a Mr. Night Train Lane, the NFL leader in interceptions in one season, 14.
That's a beautiful name.
That's my 8th pick, Night Train Lane, cornerback.
Good job. I thought you were going to take Quentin or Champ.
Man, you think after I texted you to help you that I'd be willing to I'm just going to give you a guy I wanted to draft? Get out of here.
I mean, it's a great name, and he's a Longhorn, so it would make
He's
sense.
a quarter, I know, yeah. Too obvious. Couldn't do it.
I would have respected it. But yeah, there was like 5 million good cornerback names. I don't know why they all went to play corner. Okay.
All right, man. You're on the clock.
So I'm a little mixed up here. Bear with me. So I have
the pressure's getting to you.
Yeah. I just want to make sure I got this right. I have a safety. I have 2 receivers, running back, tight end. That's 5. I have an edge, a corner. That's only 7. Yeah.
You're missing a defensive tackle, a linebacker.
Quarterback, and a linebacker.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. For D tackle, I'm going to take D liner. That's his name. D liner.
D liner.
Yeah.
That wasn't on my board.
He's fairly recent. And part of that, the appeal there is obviously the fact that he plays D line. D liner does. So I like that. I think that's really fun. He's. I think he retired, or just like got. I don't know. Stopped being part of the league a couple years ago. I don't know.
Okay.
But he's somewhat recent. And then I got to take a linebacker, and I'm going to take Brian Urlacher, which is kind of boring.
What?
Yeah, but I just couldn't find great names after Dick Butkus. And I actually feel like Brian Urlacher has always kind of had
No.
a really linebacker sounding name.
It's a good name, but dude, there's so many good linebackers out there. What are we doing?
We're talking about a Hall of Famer here. But you're probably right. There was maybe better options. I just couldn't find them.
I'll review them after the draft.
Okay.
But all right. So that was your second pick, their ninth pick?
Yeah. So I would just need quarterback at the next
Yeah.
turn, which you know who I'm going to take.
All right, for edge, I'm going to go Hercules Mataafa.
I thought about him.
All right.
Hercules.
And then oh shit. I don't have a tight end.
Oh, fuck.
I don't have a safety or a tight end.
What are you going to do about
How
that?
did this happen?
Uh-oh.
Oh no. All right. Well, I'm still going to take this guy no matter what. For my 10th pick, I'm taking Troy Polamalu.
He was on my board. He's pretty good.
Hall of Fame player and Hall of Fame name. All right, so you're drafting your 10th player, right?
That's right.
All right.
That's Colt McCoy, the best quarterback of all time.
It's crazy that he went last.
I know, but that was just the nature of the game that we played.
Yeah. Okay.
I think he has a case as 1.01.
He
Colt.
does.
He does, right?
Yeah, but I went with Lil Jordan. That's just the best, dude. Come on.
Yeah,
I didn't draft a tight end, dude. Wonder how much that affects my overall value.
Who needs a tight end? I drafted
All right,
Jake.
so you wrote, let's hear your team.
Okay, I'll go offense first. I got Colt McCoy at quarterback. Running back,
Okay.
I got Tank Bigsby, who's tearing it up this year. Tight end, I got Jake Butt. Receivers, Puka Nakua and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Going over to defense now, I got D-liner on my interior D-line. Whitney Merciless on my edge. Brian Urlacher at linebacker. I got Rock Yasin at corner. And then HaHa Clinton Dix at safety.
Okay. All right. Quarterback. Got Major Applewhite. Doesn't get much better than that. Then for my starting running back, I got He Hate Me. Wide receiver, Lil Jordan Humphrey, my number one pick. TJ Houshmandzadeh is my second receiver. No tight ends. It's just a draft mistake.
Edgy.
For my flex, I went with Priest Holmes. Defense, I went for my corner, Night Train Lane, edge, Hercules Mataafa. Safety, going with the old, whatchamacallit, lore. Not Greek, fucking Roman lore. Troy and Hercules. Troy Polamalu and Hercules Mataafa. At linebacker, I got Dick Butkus. At defensive tackle, the unknown but yet powerful Ishmaeli Kitchen.
Yeah.
And yeah, that rounds out my team.
I think you went for more syllables, which is fair. I went for more consonants.
Consonants.
Both
It's gonna be
viable.
tough to determine who's got the better name here, better name team.
I really
But
want to ask the listeners, but I don't know if they
yeah.
would.
Well, this is what I'm gonna do after this pod. I'm gonna have some downtime this week during my work trip that I'm gonna make an Instagram account like we talked about last week, and this will be the first post. Who's got the better team? So
That'll be good.
yeah. Before we move on, I want to put some notable names that I considered but ultimately did not draft. At corner, Earth, Wind, Moreland, and Quentin Jammer.
Of course.
At edge, Frosty Rucker, and then another edge, CJ Ayu. All right, linebacker, Tim Fugger, and
Oh yeah,
linebacker, Takeo Spikes. Great name.
that is good.
And then probably one of the best ones out of all time, Teddy Bruschi, dude. How are you going to miss that one?
Oh yeah, that's so much better than Urlacher. Holy shit.
All right, defensive tackle. I think I mentioned him already. Ndamukong Suh. Safety, Lawyer Malloy. Great name.
Yeah,
Another safety, Bakari Rambo.
I've heard of him.
Wide receiver, other notables, Antoine Randall, Pierre Garçon. Running back, Ben Jarvis Green Ellis. Tight ends. This is who I would have drafted if I had enough real estate. Philip Superna.
I thought about him actually.
Yeah, he's on your board.
Yeah, I just like Jake Butt.
That's a great name. If I had known about that, I probably would have valued him a little higher than my flex. Martellus Bennett was also on my tight ends list, and Algie Crumpler. Oh, and then I almost forgot quarterback Colt McCoy, obviously on my list, and then John David Booty.
I thought about him too, but I just didn't feel the connection.
You got any notable names you had to miss out on?
I do, yeah. So the only other quarterback that I really considered besides Colt was Warren Moon. I really like that name.
Warren Moon. That's a good name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's so like clean, right? So different
It's
than
butter
Colt.
smooth, man.
Exactly. It's much different. But the vibes of my team went Colt's way. And then at corner, there's like 6 names that I really wanted, but I had to just take one. And I took my favorite again, which is Rocky Yassin. But there was, like you said, there was Quentin Jammer. I considered him. Also Champ Bailey. Also
Champ Bailey. Yeah.
Captain Munnerlin, who I hadn't heard of before tonight, but
He's on
really
my
good
board.
name. Who's on your board? Greedy Williams. Him I do know. Good name. R.W. McQuarters. Hadn't heard of him.
I'd heard of that one.
But that's a good defensive back name. I considered Palomalu at safety. I considered Cam Chancellor as well.
Cam Chancellor is a good name.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I don't know. Actually, I should have gotten him.
And that would
He's
fit
great.
your vibe too. The other one I considered besides Whitney Merciless, who I thought was like a great name, Jack Youngblood.
Jack Youngblood. I saw him.
Yeah.
Wasn't on my board though.
I just love Merciless, the player as well. I remember watching him, so
Yeah.
I took him.
Me too. He was a fun player to watch.
Oh yeah.
He played with the crazy guy, Brian Cushing.
Mm-hmm. He was good.
Yeah. All right, man. That's it.
Good
Draft. That was fun.
GG's.
Good game.
That was fun.
Devoted listener who will not be named. Okay, what do you say we round out these games, huh? Get to our corners.
Yeah, let's get through
them. We talked about the big one. Oh, you know what game we haven't talked about yet is Chiefs Bills.
The main card.
Yeah, man, the Chiefs. So that was a afternoon game. Again, great slate by the NFL. One of the rare, just on the money with the games that they're displaying throughout the day.
Yeah,
it was just nonstop action all day, right? And then you had Kansas City going into Buffalo. Kansas City was 2-point 2.5 dogs, 2.5 point dogs in Buffalo. And usually whenever you have what's his name? Priest Holmes. The quarterback for the Chiefs. What is his name?
Patrick Mahomes.
Patrick Mahomes, that guy. Whenever he's an underdog, he is statistically very profitable, which usually means a good chance for them to come out and win. But it's a chance, not a guarantee. So they lose by 9, so they don't cover. And it was mainly because, well, Josh Allen made an MVP play by making a 30-yard TD scramble. I mean, it was an epic play there at the end of the game to seal the game for the Bills. But also, it's worth noting, it's finally the time the Chiefs do not get a call to go their way. They make a big scramble. Mahomes makes a 30-yard scramble on 3rd and 13 or whatever it was, 4th and 13, and seemingly they're in position to kick the game-winning field goal, and they get called for holding, which every conspiracy theorist is probably shocked to see that because they usually get that call, and now they're pushed back to and then Mahomes throws an interception and game's over, right? So. Uncharacteristic game for the Chiefs, but it's about time to come back down to earth because that team should not have been 9-0.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone watching this season would agree that they didn't play like a 9-0 team at any point. You had a stat in our little like prep card that you put together. Thank you, by the way. Talking about Mahomes ranking, was it dead last in DVOA on throws in the middle of the field?
Mm-hmm.
It was something really damning. And what stood out to me the most about that game was pretty much just that. Like, Mahomes is really just looking to the flats. He's looking at Kelsey. He's looking at D-Hop. And if it's not there, it feels like Kansas City has nothing. And it's kind of funny because in this game, Worthy finally got off to like a hot start, right?
Right.
Like the first drive, he had like 4 catches or something, and then he scored. And then they didn't look his way again. And actually, he did kind of have another blunder just like a couple weeks ago where he wasn't able to drag his feet, and so it was out of bounds.
Yeah, that was tough. That's a rookie move, man. To make a great catch like that and not drag your foot, you got to be able to do that. Rookie blunder.
That was damning, but I don't know. If you're talking about Worthy specifically, I'm not really concerned that much. I think he'll fix that. Yeah, to me it's more important that he's like getting open and actually catching it. But from the Chiefs' perspective, it's kind of alarming, I feel like. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to sound the alarm on like Patrick Mahomes, right? They're 9-1 and they're probably going to three-peat, but they just don't feel like a good team, like at all. Anytime I watch them, and they actually feel like they've gotten worse since the beginning of the season. Does that make sense?
These past 3 years, I would definitely say this is their worst of these 3 years, and somehow we're still looking at it like they're going to win the Super Bowl, which is wild to say. Yeah, that.
It is wild, and I feel like Mahomes is playing the worst stretch of his career.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
What was the stats in that game? Because they weren't good. They were. I have them right here. Oh, that stat, by the way, before I forget, the one that you referred to. Mahomes is the worst quarterback in the league this year throwing to the middle of the field. However, the Bills' defense ranks 30th in DVOA against passes to the middle. And it was still not utilized.
Right.
Another representation of a bad year for Mahomes. Yeah, so Mahomes, he wasn't terrible. 23 for 33, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And no rush yards to account for Mahomes because he's definitely a player that I think benefits a lot from his run game. I mean, he's a good runner. He always has been. So it's interesting to see it not really a factor in this game. But yeah, Mahomes not a great game. I think he's fallen down the ladder for MVP. And then yeah, I hope so too. Yeah, I mean, it's better off for the league. And then Allen is now jumped as the odds-on favorite to win the MVP. Lamar kind of played his way out of it. And then, I mean, it helps that Allen had a great game. I mean, he was clutch as fuck. That run was spectacular to end the game. That was super emotional too. Everybody got really hyped after that run to put them up 9 points, 30-21, and inevitably win that game, 30-21.
Would you rather have Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
How did I know you're gonna ask me that? Fuck, dude.
That's the right answer.
Oh shoot! Oh my god! I don't know.
I think I'd rather have Allen, but I don't think.
What's your reason?
Be wrong. More durable for one, or at least it feels that way. But also, we were talking about earlier how Lamar gets emotional. I really do think that there's something there. And to me, Allen does not have that at all. Like if Allen fucks up, and he does fuck up sometimes, it's more like he's confidently trying to make the right play, and it's just misguided. Whereas when Lamar fucks up, it's just like what you said, like he's kind of tilted a little bit, and that's very dangerous. Yeah. But they're both amazing, obviously. So I don't think there's a wrong answer.
Well, shit, you convinced me, man. I think I'd rather take Josh Allen.
Okay.
He's just more consistent.
Yeah, I agree.
He's showing up for big games rather than Lamar consistently not showing up for big games. So I think I got to go Allen.
I think Lamar has a better cast as well.
Lamar? Better cast?
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. This is unrelated, but I just wanted to bring up Deontay Johnson has not been a factor, and he was a good receiver this year when he was with Carolina.
That's surprising.
I'm still hanging my hat on that, so it's just kind of weird. Lamar does have better weapons, 100%. Anyways, back to the discussion. So I think the Chiefs now, they're probably sighing a little bit of relief here. They got that loss out of the way, and they can set their sights, temper their expectations a little bit more reasonably game to game, and start thinking about the playoffs. I mean, they're 9-1. They haven't technically clinched a playoff spot yet, but they're going to start playing for the number 1 seed, home field advantage, all that stuff. So their season changes a little bit. They have a little bit more wiggle room, I guess. It's the Bills, really, that I believe they still have the pressure to catch up to the Chiefs. So with that being said, I'm going to check out the remainder of the Bills season. All right, Bills they're at home for San Francisco.
Oh, that's spicy.
Yeah, then they go at the Rams. Then they go at Detroit. Holy shit. And then they're home for the Patriots, home for the Jets, at the Patriots. They could lose those first 3 games, in my opinion. All right. And then the Chiefs. At Panthers. I remember that now because they're 12-point favorites. And I'm betting on the Panthers, by the way.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Then they're home for the Raiders, home for the Chargers, at the Browns, home for the Texans, and at the Steelers. And then they're at the Broncos. I like the Chiefs' schedule more.
I agree.
It's gonna be a tough chase for the Bills to get the 1 seed. Interesting. What do you think about that?
I think the NFL likes the Chiefs.
So conspiracy theory of you to say.
Hey, but I love Taylor Swift, so that's okay by me.
You don't say. That's funny, man. um. Anyways, yeah, this is gonna be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing what shakes out with the playoff picture. But the Bills are on the way up, and I think the Chiefs are still going to be the favorites to win the AFC. But the Bills, I mean, if they have the MVP favorite, I mean, it's going to be close. I think the Bills have a really good chance here to make it to the Super Bowl.
They've had a chance every year for the last 5 years, basically. So I agree on all points, but I sit here and I talk about how trash the Chiefs have looked and how it's the worst year of Mahomes' career, and I stand by all of that, and I think it's true. But if you ask me who I think is going to win the Super Bowl, I would still tell you the Chiefs.
We're so jaded, man. I agree.
Well,
I can't.
Yeah, until we see it.
Of course, we can't deny it until we see it happen.
Right.
So yeah, I'm right there with him. All right, man. Anything else on this game?
No. The Bills are fun. They have a lot of not studs, but fun gadget-like players. Obviously, Khalil Shakir is really good. I like Curtis Samuel. I like Mac Hollins and his distaste of shoes, which is really cool.
Or lack thereof.
Right. Yeah, the Bills are fun. I got nothing.
Cool. Let's just go through the remainder of these games. We've already touched on the Lions. They were favored by a lot and just blew out the Jaguars. Jaguars are done. I'm surprised they haven't fired Doug Peterson by now. But the Lions, 8 drives, 7 touchdowns, 1 field goal.
Jesus,
I mean, they're unstoppable.
Are you serious?
And
I didn't watch
for the first time in their history of a franchise, they are now favored to go to the Super Bowl.
As they should be.
Yeah, good for them. And they're going to be a public favorite the rest of the season. So now we got Vikings, Titans. Once again, Darnold being inconsistent, but they walk away with another dub. That defense is just carrying them. And Minnesota is 8-2, dude.
Yeah, but they played the Titans.
The worst 8-2 team you can think of, right?
Other than 2 years ago, 8-2 Minnesota Vikings.
Oh yeah, with Kirk. Yeah, that's wild. They were much better with Kirk. It's crazy to say that, but it's just true.
Their offense really definitely was
good.
Darnold looks not great, to be honest. So it's hard to take them seriously. At least I think it is.
They're pretty fraudy.
Yeah. Look, their defense is awesome, but in January you need to move the ball if you want to win.
Yeah. You can't. You're never gonna live with an inconsistent quarterback and one that turns it over. Right. Turning it over a lot.
Yeah.
Not good news for the Vikings. They got to turn it around if they're gonna have any hopes in the playoffs. They're gonna make the playoffs. Yeah. Pretty certain about that. But they're looking like the 5th seed fraud, first wild card fraud. They're gonna get bounced. All right, then we got hilariously the Jets lose again.
Dude.
At home to the Colts. They lose to a good Anthony Richardson, which is tough.
All he had to do was play the Jets, and then he looks amazing. Wouldn't you know it?
Which is weird. Dude, I was thinking about you. I watched a lot of that game, and I was thinking about you because the Jets defense is just trash.
Yes.
Fuck.
Yes, they're so bad.
Their roster on paper is so good, but
it is
playing so bad. I don't know what it is, man.
I can't make sense of it either, except that maybe we're just wrong about all this talent. Maybe I was wrong. I don't know if you came across this yet, but so I didn't watch that game that closely. I had it on, so I didn't catch this, but I saw this on Reddit. Apparently, Sauce Gardner made a tackle.
Oh,
and then The home Jets crowd gave him a sarcastic standing ovation.
In case you guys didn't know, Sauce Gardner, the cornerback for the Jets, has been having a terrible season, and he has not been tackling very well. He's been, according to PFF, the worst tackling cornerback ever this season.
Oof.
So I didn't know about the. Well, I think I read it. I think what I read was Sauce Gardner's response to that. He was like,
Yeah.
what did he say? He was like, I didn't. I was like, seriously, but the fans are passionate here.
Yeah, he was sarcastic back, which I respect that. I don't know what else he's supposed to do, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah. Jets are a disgrace. You have to wonder if Rodgers is going to come back to this team. Like, I don't
know.
It's going to depend on the coach, I guess.
Right.
Whoever Rodgers decides the coach will be.
I kind of want him to, just for the lulz, but I don't
True.
know. It doesn't matter that much.
It's kind of fun. Like I already alluded to, it's for this game and moving forward, the Jets are just the fun, bad team to watch because it's just funny at this point.
Exactly. I'm glad they exist.
All right, that's enough of them.
Yeah.
Other good game that happened this week. I watched a lot of this game. Niners at home for the Seahawks. And Seahawks, they lose their starting center because he retired 4 days ago.
I think that guy's
shocking.
Yeah, I saw that. Connor Williams, right?
Yeah. It's a big deal.
It is a big deal. Apparently, he was like checked out the last few games, so that makes sense.
Oh, really?
Huh. Yeah, I don't know what that's based off of. That's not my observation, but it's crazy that can just happen. I don't know. I hope he's okay. But hey, good win. Also, the Niners.
Yeah, what a win. To go into San Francisco.
Yeah. Maybe the Niners suck, but I don't know.
Well, hey, that's a funny thing to say because how many times have I brought this up? Is this actually a good win, though? Because I'm about to bring up the stat because I've been, the big San Francisco hater now for a while.
Yeah.
All right, San Francisco 49ers have blown fourth quarter leads to every NFC West opponent. Rams, Cardinals, and now the Seahawks. They've all come back from deficits to beat the Niners. So unclutch.
Wow.
The coaching is, I don't care how much of a genius Kyle Shanahan is. They don't know how to handle adversity. I've been saying it time and time again. If they do not fix that, they're not going anywhere in the playoffs.
I'm afraid that you might be right. I've been slow to come around on this one because everything I said about the Eagles early in the season about how they're so talented, like it doesn't even matter.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the same way about the Niners, but even more strong. Like, obviously, right? Like you compare McCaffrey. I guess Barkley's comparable, but outside of that, it's like the Niners have every piece you would ever want. Trent Williams, Debo. I know Ayuk's hurt, but Kittle. On whatever. You know the story.
Yeah.
So I had faith that combined with Shanny's play calling would be enough, but I don't know. Scary times for the Bay.
Just for shits and giggles here, we already know San Francisco's playing some good teams. I think they're playing Buffalo at home here soon, right? But I want to see the rest of their schedule, see how bad it is. 49ers schedule. Okay, so they're going at Green Bay next game.
Oh man.
At Buffalo, home for Chicago. A little frisky team to come into San Francisco. That might be a shorter spread than people expect. And they got the Rams at home. Then they're going at the Dolphins, who just beat the Raiders, and they're playing better.
They are playing better. They're
playing better. That offense is still lethal. And then they got at home for Detroit.
Are the Niners?
Then they're at the Cardinals. That's probably one of the toughest schedules in the NFL.
Yes, that's really hard. Holy shit.
Dude, they're flirting with dude. We're talking about them potentially missing the playoffs.
It could happen. Super
With an
Bowl
NFC
hangover.
North as strong as it is,
Wow. It's going to be a
it's
fun,
possible.
fun second half of the season. I'm excited.
Wow. Yeah, this next game too is going to be really fun. I think I'm going to bet on the Packers just because I can't trust Shanahan in close games. But yeah, I bet they're going to be favored by like 3 points or something. I think I'm going to go with the Niners are going to be favored by 3 points. I think I'm going to bet on the Packers. Anyways, that's interesting. I'm not super hopeful for them, man.
We just got a text from our number one listener.
All right. I already alluded to the other game that we didn't get to. There's not really much to talk about. Raiders are terrible. Dolphins are slowly playing better. So
Yeah, but whatever. But they are.
What?
They are. I'm just so over the Dolphins. But they are playing better.
You know what's probably worth talking about? I need to bring it up every time it happens. Brock Bowers is a fucking beast. 10
Oh
catches,
my God. Yes.
140 yards,
It's
touchdown.
insane.
Unbelievable. That player is going to be even better next year. I'm so here for that. He's so fun to watch.
Last year, all the fantasy dorks, they saw Laporta and they were like, oh, here's the GOAT.
Hey,
But
don't
no.
you put this evil on me. I know what you're doing. Don't do it.
No. I'm not. Well, I'm not doing it on purpose. But Laporta's great. But to me, he was more a product of like the Lions being awesome for fantasy.
Well,
To me, Bowers is like actually potentially the GOAT. He is fucking good. So yeah,
man.
watch Bowers if you haven't.
Yeah, he's worth it. He's worth the price of admission. He's even worth a game day. NFL game day for a month. All right. That is all the games. Anything else you want to add?
I'm excited for the stretch run.
Yeah, this next week we have a few good games to watch, but it's going to be tough to compete with this week. We had a lot of fun back and forth games. But yeah, you're right, dude. The second half of this season is going to be entertaining. I'm pumped for it.
Oh yeah, we'll be here to cover it all. Not really, but we'll give our thoughts.
What do you mean, dude? We're gonna be here.
I'm
gonna be here this Monday. You working next week?
Yes. Sorry, I forgot what it was. I'm
You were
working.
so shocked, like, of course I am.
Why would I not? It's day. I'm working Monday through Wednesday. I have Black Friday off.
Nice.
What about you?
Same season.
Okay.
All right. Well, since we kind of already made that transition, let's start with your corner, man. What's going on with you?
There's a few different ways I thought about going tonight. I don't really want to go too personal. Not that I'm like against that. I've done that
Don't
before.
do that.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Let's see. Jamie's folks are visiting at the end of this week, so we got to do some standard cleanup, but that should be fine. I'm excited to see them. But no, what I'm talking about today is, I guess it is kind of personal, but it's nothing crazy. Since I started grad school, which I'm no longer in, I started grad school during the pandemic, which was 2020. Yeah, so fall of 2020, that was, what was I? I was 24. And at that time in my life, I was like reading at a higher clip than I ever have and have since then. So I started grad school, and then that's immediately took up like all my time. So I stopped reading for leisure, and I was only reading like stats books basically. So, and that's fine. I mean, that's what got me my job. But because of that, I guess I like got in a huge rut that I'm still not out of when it comes to just reading, which is a shame because reading is good.
For pleasure?
For pleasure, yeah. And this is like fiction, nonfiction, doesn't matter. Because I read both. I know a lot of readers prefer one or the other. I don't really. I like both. Just like I like a good book, right? But we've been going to the library here, and I finally seem to have found a book that's going to get me out of the rut. Hopefully,
No.
yeah. So
What is it?
Malcolm Gladwell.
Oh,
I can get this. Gosh, this is hard.
Revenge of the Tipping Point.
Revenge of the Tipping Point. Yeah, so I love Gladwell. He's not like a hipster by any means. He's very, very famous.
Yes.
And I actually haven't read The Tipping Point, which is his first book, and it's like the one that put him on the map. So I need to read that. But I don't think it matters that much because like it's all nonfiction. And this is kind of his response to that book, but it's more obviously it's more applicable to like today's society. I think it came out this year, although it may have been last year. But it's contemporary, which is the point. Whereas The Tipping Point, the original, came out I think 2002. So yeah, much different time, and I think this book will be much more digestible for me, having like had my mature years during the Trump era of politics and COVID and etc. But yeah, really interesting. So I recommend it. I'm only like a chapter in, but when I picked it up, I couldn't stop reading it. So that was good because that hadn't happened in a while.
Yeah, you know who else recommends that book?
Who?
Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, fuck.
Dude, I'm fucking with you.
Okay.
But it'd be kind of funny though. He has book recommendations every week.
Oh,
It'd be
does
funny
he?
if The Tipping Point was on it. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like a Gladwell kind of guy, but I don't know.
That's hilarious.
Maybe.
All right. That's cool. I appreciate the rec. My list is short right now for non-fictions. I'm sorry, fictions. So yeah, I'll just throw it on the end there. If you like it, I might have to just wait to see if you like it.
I do.
Well,
I mean, I'm not
after you're
done, but I definitely like what I've read so far.
Okay, right on. All right, cool. That was fun. We could start a little book club if you'd like at the end of this pod.
Let's see.
Anyways, all right, yeah, my corner. So Renfest was this weekend, dude.
I was gonna ask you, but I knew you would talk about it. So
yeah. Oh man, this is good. It was fun. I was only there for a day. I had plans I needed to come back to Austin for. Obviously, a lot of stuff we saw. I didn't drink at all. We've got High Rocks coming up. I know, rare. I've never done Renfest sober, but still fun. But it also kind of gives you a little bit more awareness about all the other drunk people when you're not drinking. And dude, so for my corner, we saw the funniest thing. So it was near the end of the night. It's pretty dark, and it's the point where everybody starts making their way out the exit. And we are next to like the main bottleneck to get to the exit, and we're getting food. I think Kaylee and Dylan, maybe Kaylee and Nick were getting food. So we're just waiting for them to get their food. And as we're waiting, these three people round the corner, and among these three people, you've got two carrying one person in the center that's just absolutely wasted, right? Like I'm talking like his arms are on his friend's shoulders and his head is bobbing like he's done. He's absolutely plastered.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're basically dragging this dude out. He's barely helping with the walking. And they're just trying to keep him alive. And we're like, oh, look at that. That's crazy. Can't say we're super surprised. It's Renfest. Everybody gets wasted, right?
Yeah.
Dude, not even 2 minutes later, three guys, completely different guys. Same thing. Dude in the middle, just fucking wasted. The exact same Weekend at Bernie's type of look. Ferris Bueller's and it was shocking. We're like, oh, dude, look, again, it's happening. And it's three guys with the guy that's just absolutely wasted, just barely making his way to the exit, just like, oh. They're just like holding up his head like a newborn baby. It was hysterical how drunk he was. And we were just shocked, like, oh my God, I can't believe we just saw that again. And I asked Dylan, I was like, oh, dude, this is a good time to bet. What are I bet $20 that happens again for the third time. So if we see another trio of people helping another person out, then I win. If we don't see that on our way out, then you win, Dylan. I shake his hand, we take the bet. And he's confident. I'm like, dude, I don't know. Everybody's drunk. I feel good about this bet. About 5 minutes later, Kaylee comes around the corner by herself. And she walks up to us. She's like, oh, okay, I was going to get food, but I think I'm going to get food over here. And you're not going to believe this. I saw 3 guys with one guy in the center that was super wasted. And it looked like they were carrying him around and he couldn't walk straight. So his friends were carrying, and she started mimicking it. She's like, he looked kind of like this. I just looked directly at Dylan. I'm like, that fucking counts. What are the chances that happens?
That's money.
And then Dylan was like, no, that doesn't count. Could have been the same 3. But I was like, I don't know. A lot of time has passed. It was great. The timing of it was hilarious. And I'm still convinced. I ended up paying Dylan $20. I felt like.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
Dang. I'm surprised you
decided
took
to be
that
the better
bet.
man here.
You're so mature, man.
Thank you for the affirmation.
You're welcome.
But it was a really epic moment. Nick just went nuts when Kaylee said that completely unprompted, and she was not near our conversation. So it was fucking hysterical.
Did they camp?
But, yeah. What'd you say?
Did they camp? Did anyone camp?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Nick, Dylan, and the crew from last year all camped.
Nice.
I was gonna camp, but I decided not to.
What about Austin and Joey? Did they go?
No, they didn't make it. I'm sorry. Austin made it just in time for the second half, and I believe they camped. I'm honestly not sure. Joey did not make it, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm jealous. Wish I could have been there.
Yeah, that's all right. You got any plans for coming to Austin anytime soon?
I'm going to Texas for Christmas, but I'm going to San Antonio, and I'll be Carlos.
Yeah.
I'll hit the group chat up, but I don't
Yeah,
want
we gotta make something happen.
I don't want to ask people to come to San Antonio. So I don't know. We'll see. But I'll definitely be visiting next year, if not Christmas.
All right, cool. We'll plan. We're adults. We can plan things.
Yeah, we're capable of that.
All right. Well, we got to get out of here, man. It's been 2 hours, but this was a fun one. And yet again.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to this weekend already. So whatever you got for your corner, per usual. All right, man. Well, thanks again, listeners, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Vaya con Dios.